Hello, Dana. How are you? Everyone's coming in now. How exciting. Joining me on this show, this great fun show of manifestation. And here we go in the year of change. So it'll be very interesting. I've done this before, but it's really good to do it again because it makes me also look at my own things. Hello, we've got Danina. Hello, Danina, down the South Coast. How are you, darling? Big kiss to you. Hope that the weather's not too bad. All the rain's come here up in Sydney, so it's a little bit lovely to see you. Starting to come in a little bit slow at the moment, but everyone's coming in, so great. We'll just wait a little bit longer. I hope everyone had a happy Valentine's Day. I know mine was pretty good, and so many things have been happening in the world, haven't they? I was supposed to be going away up to Byron Bay, and then a friend said to me, "Do you really want to go up to that vortex, another vortex?" Because we did a very big vortex at Christmas time when I went up to Uluru, and oh my God, every time I'm in, something strange always happens. So yeah, but it's not as strong as Uluru or say Sedona. So there you go. So anyone who's been suffering out there, my best wishes to you, and I hope you're all well. So the first thing I'm going to be tonight is manifestation. So Violet Stormonay. Violet is a white witch, and she's got a few spells to show us. I'm bringing her back on the show again. You ready for that?
I am.
Yeah, she's ready for that. Cool. Okay, so I've pulled a few cards, and it's really funny when you pull cards, what you get. So I'm going to be pulling the cards. So then we're going to be talking about manifestation and giving tips. If you've got any queries, can you please just write on the computer, write it down, and ask us any questions about manifestation or what we're talking about tonight, because I've got lots and lots of tips. I've also written a book called Sacred Soul and Sacred Space, and they also talk about how to manifest in those two books, and they're available on Booktopia. So I think we'll start now, will we?
Absolutely, we will.
I'm just going to have a sneaky drink of water. I've got this big bottle. I didn't have time to get a glass. Hang on. You've got to have lots and lots of water when I'm working for spirit. So here we go. Now the first card I picked, if you want to manifest, it's really about how you feel about yourself. And the first thing that came up when I was asking about the show tonight was they showed me victim mentality. So if you're feeling like a victim, poor me, nothing works out for me in love, abundance, friendships, and just situations, if you really need to look at your own stuff, don't you? So you never get anywhere with being a victim, do you? No.
No.
No, it's no good being a victim. I'll tell you now. No one feels sorry for you. People just go, but at the end of the day, they just try and get away from you as fast as they can. So no more victim mentality, please, because that's a real, that's a waste of space. So, and also in your life, get rid of the poor me's. Like, these people who ring you up, oh, poor me, poor me, poor me, and you're feeling so drained. I get this a lot with people. They ring me up and, my life is a professional psychic and medium, so I don't really have the time to listen to people's problems in my normal life because I'm too burnt out. So I don't have a lot of patience because I keep saying I'm going to retire, but, it never happens because, you love the work so much when you work for spirit. So anyway, so get out of that poor me victim mode because that's not going to get you anywhere, stuck in your room, not doing anything. And if you have children who are in that situation, try and get them into counselling because counselling, some sort of help, activities, counselling and things like that, because there's nothing worse than having that victim mentality in your house because it's a for everyone, including the person. So have a look at that. So if you can tick the box of poor me, I feel sorry for me, I'm a victim mentality, you're wasting your time watching the manifestation show because you have to really raise your vibration and feel really positive, when you manifest, because if you don't love you, nothing's going to happen in your world, is it? Makes common sense. Okay, the next thing I've got, and it's so funny how all the cards always correlate. The next card I got was optimism. Yay! Feeling optimistic about yourself, about the people around you, and everything I've got in my life going to happen, you know, invitations, opportunities, people ringing you up, making a playtime, that sort of thing. And another thing I learned to do a very long time ago, living in Scandinavia, was I love nature. So it was really great to get up. I was always watching, you know, getting up early in the morning and watching the new dawn. And also I love sunsets. And it's something that's free in life, and it's something that's very, very healing. So that's something for you to do. Be very optimistic. So stop thinking negative thoughts. And if anything's hard, it's only because you're trying your best to give it your best, is what I get. So every obstacle you have, turn it into a positive. And then we come to the honoring path. This is about honoring you and honoring. And when you honor you, you will start to attract people that you know you can really look up to, and you sort of all vibe off each other. Like you start to see beautiful things. Like everyone acts as mirrors in your life, and when you're feeling really good about yourself, you'll start to see all these beautiful mirrors shining back and reflecting on you. So that's a very powerful card, and I love that. So that's something you can look at too. So loving you and just receiving all that light and all that sunshine back at you. It's really incredible, isn't it? Okay, so the next thing I've got after you, Dat, is transformation. That's a very powerful card. So when you start to do work on yourself and raise your vibration, you do start to attract these beautiful opportunities in life, you know, that quite incredible. You know, a lot of things in my life have come to me through people coming to me and asking me to do things. I've never really had to go and look for anything, because when I've ran after things and ran around and tried to get things that way, nothing ever comes. So I've found manifestation for me is all about being positive, working really hard, and letting people come to me and asking me to, hey, do you want to do this or do you want to do that? And it's a lot of fun. I remember years ago, I just had a baby, and I was working in television, and I was in theatre, and then I got into TV, and I didn't have a job because I just had this baby. And then this girl started coming around and knocking on my door and saying, look, there's this TV show and they're looking for presenters. Do you want to do it? And I said, no, I've just had a baby. I'm not interested. Anyway, she came 3 times. She came and knocked at my door. So at the end of the day, I remember I had my own show back in those days, and I worked at that place every Sunday for 5 years. So, and it was such a great experience because I met so many interesting people with all my interviews, you know, people that I learned a lot from, because, you know, you meet so many interesting people on your path, especially when you're passionate about it, like healing and spirituality. And I met some of the biggest and greatest healers in the world, you know, and I learned a lot. It was like a 5-year apprenticeship where I learned lots and lots of things, you know. It was just a wonderful experience. So let it come to you. And that's the transformation that actually happens in your life. So there you go. Have a look at that. It's incredible, isn't it? Okay, and then the next card I pulled, because I had to pick 5 because we're in the year 5, this year of change. We're in a year 5 of change, universal 5. I got commitment. So once you start to set up this new platform and you've decided to change your life, and we'll be talking about that later on in the show, how to actually the tools, or how to set your life up in a more positive way. Make the commitment. Know that, you know, you are special, and life is a journey, and, you know, we're all explorers and pioneers. So there you go. So, you know, have fun with all of that. And then the last card I pulled, which I thought was really interesting, it's about having a beautiful relationship with you. So when you start to love you, when you put time in you, you actually create a new you. Hello, Helen, how are you? Glad to see you up here. Hello from the South Coast. We've got Angie Lee. Hello, Angie, how are you going? Getting lots of people coming in. Thanks for joining us, everyone. There's Jenny. So this is the new you. This is all about the new you, starting to your vibration high and starting to have a beautiful life exactly how you want to live, without living in that victim, poor me mentality. As I said before, this is all about manifestation and magic tonight. We're in a universal 5, and that's a time of great change on the planet. So this is a year of change on the planet. So it's all about you turning all those things we learned from the past and getting rid of things that no longer serve us and moving forward. Okay, so I've actually got an article on manifesting the life you desire, and I'm going to read it out to you, and then we're going to get Violet on. We're going to talk about different tools and different ways to how to manifest things in our life, which is going to be a lot of fun. So we can call them recipes or we can call them tools, whatever you want. So I'm just going to give a little talk on manifesting. Have you ever wondered why things in your life, why you are constantly lacking energy, why you feel stuck, and no matter what you do in life, you never feel like you get ahead? I think a lot of us can really relate to that at different times. Do you feel also you attract bad luck? I mean, I have so many people ring me up when I do readings. Oh, I've got so much bad luck around me, but of course they have, because they're in such a hole. And I understand how they feel, but not a lot of there's not sure, there's curses in the world, but there's a lot of people who can't do that. It's more like negative energy that they can throw at you, but they're not actually. You might feel these negative people are powerful, but they're not. In that case, you just walk away. So there you go. Now is the time to take action and become the creator of the life you want. So you're all magicians. You're all out there to make change, to instead of just feeling stuck. You deserve better because you're a beautiful soul and change. So by taking personal responsibility in your life and clearing the negative energy in your home as well, you can change your life forever and bring more peace and fulfillment in your life. It's really funny. Every time I'm going through a really difficult time in my life, I start to thing out and the husband goes nuts. What are you doing? What are you throwing out my old shirt for? I said, well, I'm going through a massive cleanse, and that shirt, it reminds me of Leave It to is not staying. So I go through everything, get rid of all the clutter, and that creates a new space. Like on the weekend, I cleared out all the uses sort of in order. I knew straight away I could feel this transformation, immediately. There wasn't so much chaos there. And this week, by just doing that one thing, which was actually in the helpful people section of my home, the energy section, the helpful people, I actually found that this week has been a lot better already by just cleaning up that one section of the house. So imagine if you could get rid of the clutter out of your career section of the house, which is the opening, when you walk in the home. Or if it was the prosperity section left, the romance section and relationships, which is the far right. So when you start to get rid of that heavy energy, all that clutter, and this is for all the hoarders out there, you'll notice you'll have an immediate shift. It's like alchemy, and I've always said it, and I mean it, and it's incredible how it works. So you need to do lots of things about loving you, not feeling sorry for yourself, and it's also about time to make the changes in your home. And once you've done this, your life will be a big change, like I said, and all your wishes and dreams can start to manifest. So now I'm going to talk about the law of attraction. I think I touched on this before. So the first step in the law of attraction is positive thinking. The power of positive thinking is an incredible force. Your body, your mind, and your emotions are all made up of energy, which is designed to flow in and out of your life. But sometimes it can get stuck. Energy can have a positive or negative effect, and this is all the law of attraction. And it's based on the concept that like energy attracts like, and this positive energy attracts your positive. So this positive energy attracts positive energy. So if you're feeling really down and out and feeling sorry for yourself, you'll 100% you'll start to attract people that will mirror you, and that you'll start to attract people in like yourself. But when you start feeling really good about yourself, you'll start to attract people that are more on your wavelength. But then we sort of get the in-betweeners, the people that are jealous or really negative, or throw you negative energy. Those people you just have to close the door on and walk away, like the rain, washing them away. So positive thinking, does take a lot of practice. So you need to start to observe your own self-talk, watch yourself, like, oh, I'm fat, or I'm so lazy, or, oh, no, I can't do that. No, it's too hard for me. That's really negative talk, because really you can do anything, right? And if you do have any of those problems, you do something about it. You can change it. So you need to look in the mirror and be aware of what you think. If it's negative, replace it with something positive. And as you go about your day, be aware of your thought forms and attitudes. So if you start sort of thinking about terrible things, what people have done to you, that is going to consume your day, and you'll start to attract other people that are negative around you. I know for a start, if I've been really gotten up out of bed and I'm really angry in the morning, I will 100% attract absolute creeps on the road that will try and run me over, honk their horn or whatever. So I'll attract that negative energy, and so I'll have to stop, reset my brain, breathe. I'm not going to attract that energy. And then I do the affirmation. I'm a beautiful person. I love you. I only attract affirmations, to change your energy and the way you think. Because when you think about it, we're like magnets. We keep it. Work with energy. You can have more peace, harmony, and fulfillment in your life. The benefits of understanding how to harness positive energy are numerous and include finding that you love yourself, your family, and your friends. If you're fighting with people, sometimes it's good to walk away from people that no longer serve you. If they can't see anything nice in you, what's the point? If people don't like you, they never will. So, stop knocking on the door and keep trying. My father once said to me, when you get older, when you're younger, you have a lot of friends, but when you get older, you're lucky if you have, 2 fingers on your hand of really good friends. And that's kind of true, because a lot of people come into your life and they're not there forever. Look, I remember seeing an article on, Kylie Minogue, and she was saying that, every 2 years she seemed to have a big change in people and friends, and her relationships, they're full on and then they die, and then the same kept going and going and going. As for friends, they come in and then they go. They come in, then I go. But, that's because she works so hard, very much on herself, and she's very successful, so she's constantly creating. So, of course, she would, have these small sort of contract friends. She wouldn't have anybody for a long time because she's constantly creative, as a singer, and she's creating herself, as every day goes by with her music. So you also, with your work and your life, you also need to enjoy what you do. Why have a job that makes you unhappy? And if you do have an unhappy job, go to the gym after, or go for a walk, or do exercise, or have a hobby. Because sometimes we need to have these horrible jobs just to earn the money. So do something positive. So you have a negative and you're positive if you can't change your job. Nothing can stop you once you learn to play and understand energy. The other thing is you need to trust your gut, trust your instinct, because it's never wrong. That's like, when you meet new people. You might have a butt in your gut and you think, I'm not sure, but I'll give them a go. And then what do you know? They turn out to be these assholes, that you sort of got the first time round, because people don't change. You can usually pick it up the first time. The other thing is you need to have faith, hope, and drive to give everything a go. Inspiring others to believe in themselves. And, when you're feeling great, share it with your friends, your family, your neighbours, people around you. It's amazing what you can do when you can just smile at a person walking down the street. That would probably, we don't know what they're going through, and that can probably make their day. But the most important thing of all is all about self-love. You really need to learn to finally love yourself. And if you don't, nobody else will. You need to be really forgiving with people, friends, people that have hurt you. You just forgive them, because forgiveness is the most powerful healing in the world. Like the last 18 months, I lost some really good friends of mine, and it was very painful, but I had to let them go. And I still couldn't sit there and say, but why me, poor me, why did this happen to me? Because I love these people, but, they obviously weren't meant to be in my life. And I just had to wish them well and keep moving forward. I know it's very painful and there's lots of lessons you need to take on your path, but if you stay hooked into this negative energy, it will disempower you. So keep moving forward whatever you do. And the other thing is I do, when I say goodbye to people, I might put them in, it's called cutting the ties, or I might put them in a healing bubble. And all this is on my website if you want to give it a go. It's just like working with energy. But the thing is, don't hang on to people and silly situations, and really make a go of everything you do and really love yourself, and you'll be surprised at what happens. Okay, we're going to get Violet on the show now.
Lovely.
And we're going to have a discussion about manifestation. And Violet is a white witch, and she gives perspective to me because I'm a medium and I work in a different way. I work a lot with spirit. But Violet's actually, here she is.
Hi.
It's lovely to see her, isn't it? She's got a beautiful caftan on tonight, very sexy. I had to get her out
dressed
of her.
Me up.
Had to get her out of her sports clothes. I said, "Come on, Violet, you're not going to wear your pajamas on TV again, are you?"
Oh, those witches were a bit comfy. We're in the earth and digging and a bit,
well,
a bit rough.
She thought she was sitting in her beanbag at home. But anyway,
I've got
it going. But anyway, we've got some recipes for abundance tonight. So
yes, we do.
The first thing is you need to be really clear. And also you need to ask the universe once a day for what you want. And also vision boards. What do you think about vision boards?
I absolutely love visual aids. I think a lot of people, it really allows them to see it, feel it, and breathe into the experience a lot more.
And how much is your vision board?
Oh, a lot.
Well, I usually change mine twice a year.
Yeah, okay.
Because I've got some pretty big wishes.
Okay, so you're working to that sort of bigger term goal. I like to move mine around as to almost to that weekly goal setting and that sort of daily idea of re-informing my plans.
No, I'm the opposite. I have these big goals, but I will share. I will share a funny story with you.
Okay.
Years ago, I said I want to live in a house close to the water with jacaranda trees.
Oh,
okay,
nice.
Anyway, I had this on my vision board, and it happened within 2 years.
Beautiful.
We bought a house. It had a pool with these 2 really big jacaranda trees. Guess what happened?
What?
The jacaranda trees grew so big, all their flowers went into the pool and blew the pump up. It cost us thousands. So there you go. So you have to be very careful what you ask for.
Specifics do count. The specifics.
And I've heard about men too. What sort of man do I want?
Oh, yeah. Look, that's a real
for women.
Catch one. You have to, first of all, what no one ever gets to in manifestation is, especially in relationships, you have to embody those qualities. You can't just put a wish list out saying, oh, I want a man who's patient or a woman who's patient, and you have none. You have to be able to put out what it is that you want to get in.
It's amazing how we make these little white lies to ourselves, don't you think?
Yeah.
So
that was a good one of mine. I used to say, I want someone really patient.
Yeah.
And I have no patience at all. I used to say to my mother when I was little, I've prayed really hard for patience. And she'd say, well, that's very silly. And I'd say, why is that? And she'd say, because now you have to go through all the lessons to learn patience.
Look, the other thing I have to say, talking about prayer's a really big one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Because I find myself, if I really want something for myself or my family or friends, I will always pray.
100%.
And pray, like especially for my friends who are sick or they're going through really hard times, I'll always get a positive result.
Yeah, 100%. I'm big on that.
I do pray if I really want something, which is really, really important,
I think it's that self-peace time too, where you really connect with something greater than yourself. So it doesn't matter who you're praying to or what, if it's higher energy, if it's God, if it's the Divine Mother, whichever source
whatever
your
prayer
prayer
is. Yeah.
It's that connection to something greater than self.
The other thing is trust.
I like that, Kerrie.
Trust, you really have to trust that you can change.
Yep.
You can manifest. And, you really need to trust in the process too. Like, has it happened? Has it happened? I wrote it down 500 times. I've told the universe 6,000 times. Yeah. You have to trust that it will happen. But sometimes it takes time.
Well, everything falls into that divine timing principle. You may think that your exact moment of needing that is tomorrow. But the universe knows greater than you.
That's for sure. The other thing is, about receiving an acknowledgement, to understand that you can receive.
Yes.
And you can acknowledge that you can
Yeah.
have abundance in your life, because a
Don't
lot
you-
of people think they don't deserve anything. I find that so sad.
I think you hit the nail on the head with that, because that comes down to that worthiness.
For sure. It's
Doesn't
just
it?
amazing. I have
Yeah.
spoken to so many beautiful souls in my business. I'm doing mostly phone readings these days. I don't have an office or a practice anymore.
Mhm.
So all my work's over the phone, and it's just, I speak to people all over the world. It's just amazing. You know, some of these people, they're so beautiful and so humble,
Yes.
and they don't think they deserve. And, you know, that's what I tell them all the time. You do deserve, because you are beautiful, and, you know, you deserve to have a happy life too, you know, not just your family. What about you?
Well, it comes down to that idea, self-worth and self-esteem, and you have that automatically. You're given that at birth, and we corrupt it in our heads. And it's got to come down to that essential principle that we are all infinitely one.
That's true. It's also what you believe about yourself, because, you know, in my early days, I used to have a mother like, you'll never amount to anything the way you are. You know, and I used to think, oh, geez, I'll never amount to anything. And I made sure I amounted to something, because I left home as soon as I could.
Yeah, to get
You know,
away.
this negative energy,
Get
like
out.
someone telling me, you'll never amount to anything the way you are. You can't make any commitment to anything. I thought, oh, gee. You know, and then it sort of started to become true. I started second guessing everything. Yeah,
okay.
So
Yeah.
when I left, I had to really work on that, you know, about sort of sticking to things.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely true.
Because they used to call me the halfway girl. I'd sort of do something and I'd get so restless, and I'd sort of buzz off.
Yeah, well,
And
mine.
that's what she went on about, you know, and she related it to my worth, which wasn't true.
No.
A restless person.
Yeah, it's the energy in the person.
Getting bored with what you're doing and trying something else, like you move on.
Yeah.
I found I had that problem, but she related it to my worth, and it took me years to work on that. You know,
It does.
I am good enough. I do love myself and all that sort of stuff. You know,
Well,
that criticism.
The criticism is huge.
A killer.
Yeah.
We really have to be careful the way we, you know, speak to our children.
The way that we speak to our children, because your children and our children, they all go into school and they reflect that behaviour.
And there's nothing worse than bullying.
Well, I was actually locked in a. They used to push me in the library cupboards and lock the doors.
Yeah, I think we all got bullied at school.
So
didn't
that
we?
was you know, because I was not very, because of my eyes were turned in and my legs were turned in, so I was a bit, you know, like that as a child, and obviously with the conditions like that, you can't read and you can't do things, so, you know, the odd one out and shoved into the cupboards, and so it's horrible experience.
Where I grew up, I mean, it was a town, so there's a lot of migrants.
Yeah.
So a lot of my good friends were being called wog and
yeah,
dago,
okay.
and
Wow.
oh, yuck, your sandwich stinks. You know that sort of thing. So a lot of the migrants where I grew up,
really copped it.
Really copped it.
Okay.
But, you know, I was called white trash because I was a minority. But, gee, there's a lot of racism in the world, isn't there?
There is a lot of
terrible,
that. And
terrible.
it's something that I think the world's starting to acknowledge on some levels.
You know, it's really sort of getting bigger, isn't it? You know, as we go along.
I think
so
all these
people are
things
more aware,
bumble.
like Black Lives Matter. Yeah. Bit of racism. We really need to get onto. Need to be more aware of having programs of, you know, stopping this.
Yeah, no,
this
it's
behaviour.
true. It's 100% true. We used to get a lot of that. Jippos, you know, running around
horrible
with no
names,
shoes.
you know, being called names, and, you know, it really sticks too. It really does stick. Like for years, you know, I've had friends that they were called wog or dago or you're different, and they've suffered from really bad self-esteem.
Oh, of course, it's all of this stuff becomes a stigma, and it locks into people's heads, which becomes that belief.
And the same for Aboriginal people I went to school with. They've had a hard time too because of the colour of their skin. Can you believe it? And it's still really big today in Australia. A lot of Australians are
programming.
Yeah, but they've really, because the people there, they've really got some really good people working within their societies.
That's really great, isn't
so
it?
it actually has improved, I believe, what I've seen when I've travelled.
Yeah,
around Australia.
I mean, not coming from Australia, I'm sort of always learning the culture as I go. You know.
Well, I travelled as an actor all around Australia for a company called Sidetrack Theatre, and we went to like South places like that, and there was a lot of, you know, racism out west, and sort of now I feel it's changed a lot because Aboriginal people, they're starting to have a voice.
That's good. It's really important that everyone gets.
And they're getting It's a wonderful thing.
It is, definitely is.
Okay. The other thing is clear your resistance.
Resistance for receiving.
Yes. Serving. And the other thing is very, very important, and I feel, which helped me sort of, I'm right into Deepak Chopra. So I remember I did this 21-day manifestation.
I followed it after you. It was brilliant.
And
you sent it over to me and I was like, okay, let me try this. It's
incredible because I did this every day for 21 days because you forget.
Yeah.
And it goes through the whole process, the 21 days, Deepak Chopra. But one of the things he talks about is being grateful.
Yes, I did follow it.
Being grateful for everything in your life. You make a list and you think, geez, I didn't realise how good my life was. How grateful I truly am.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's about making a list of people you admire.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people that have helped you.
Yeah.
Not just the people that have hurt you.
No.
Wasting time with that. I mean, that list,
yep.
you need to burn that. You need to burn.
Burn
that list.
Kerrie.
Okay.
Got it.
But no, being grateful, write down all the people you admire, you know, like different situations.
Yeah.
And things like that.
It's true. We're helped along our path, and that reflection, taking that moment to actually think about all the help and the assistance and support. It's very easy to see that negative.
Well, in the day I was a big fan, but I did love Monica's. I did love the fact that she did help so many people.
Yeah, very brave
and
woman.
My mother the same. My mother was very big fans because she did so much work for, you know, children. Yeah.
That blew me. That she put on that, just went, oh no, don't do it. And out she went because they were dropping the food aids into the
such
mines.
Incredible things.
Amazing.
Anyway, when she died, I was actually overseas. And I was in Greece. So I caught a plane from Greece and I went up to Kensington Palace.
Oh my God.
The next day she died, and there was a sea of flowers.
Yeah.
A sea of flowers.
Yeah.
It was, I couldn't stop crying. And my husband said, you didn't even know her. Why are you crying? This unconditional love, and you know, going to Buckingham Palace, and I felt so proud. You know, it was a sea of flowers everywhere as far as the eye could see it, and I put my flowers down too, and I just felt so wonderful. I could really feel her spirit and her energy. It was quite amazing.
It is. That is absolutely beautiful, because it really, that story just reminds us how one person can touch.
Well, she opened up everybody's consciousness of love, unconditional love, and years later, I run seances, and she came through in a seance.
Oh, wow.
So I was very sort of touched.
Wow, that would be amazing.
She had the most beautiful energy when she came through my body. It was absolutely beautiful, and she's like an angel. You know, so I'm really sure there's a lot of people out there who feel the same. Yeah. You know, she was just like a modern day angel, wasn't she?
She really had that aura when you looked at her. She really kind of radiated
like
that beautiful peace and serenity.
And another person who came through in the seances was, and did you? She did a lot of work for animals. The sitters are all there after.
Wow. I had no idea.
Yeah, because a lot of work for animals and cats.
Wow, I had no idea
because
about
that was her passion, really behind the scenes.
I think that is really fascinating when you do that and you get all these different people come visiting. And the stories are amazing.
Well, we should have a night on.
They're amazing.
We should have a night on all the seances that I've that rock stars and that. But anyway, that's another time.
They're a bit of naughty. We might have to put a little bit of a rating up for some of those stories.
We'll have to go cuckoo if any swearing's going on. But anyway, so trust tonight. I'll be just answering questions.
No.
But so being grateful, admiring people, you know, being blessed to have certain situations in your life, being forgiving. This is all about raising your vibration, meditating. Another thing is chanting.
Yes.
Chanting.
Yep, 100%. Changing the vibrational energy.
That's incredible.
In the right vibration.
Years ago, I used to go, you know, I did a bit of volunteer work for.
Yeah.
And they do singing and chanting and stuff. And
Yeah, they
I've
do.
actually gone to workshops where I've done chanting workshops.
Wow, that'd
And
be
you
really
come
fascinating.
out high as a kite.
Yeah,
You
because
absolutely
it's all
are.
vibrational.
It's just amazing. A couple of days to come down. So if you do a chanting workshop, go and have a cigarette, even if you don't smoke, or have some coffee to get back in your body, because you go way
Yeah,
out.
come back down.
Not that I smoke, but you know, I've had to just so I could drive home. Excuse me. Tithing.
Tithing, yep, all right.
Yeah, tithing. For years I've always worked with communities. You know,
Yep.
I've done community work like for free. I've worked at
Yep,
soup kitchens.
putting back.
I did shows for years, and I did shows for years, and I remember that I worked for the Children's Hospital, and I'd always donated money to them.
Well, I think you and I both this one. You were doing the floor, and I
Yes.
was.
Yeah.
And I think it's you have an opportunity. First time I met you.
People.
Yes.
That's why we you that positive energy.
It's a wonderful experience. You absolutely.
Feel it, taste. Learned years ago. Actually, think you're close. Did you want to try that?